Today, we will talk about 10 respectable coaches in the NFL. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribe to my channel. 10. Jim Schwartz, Detroit Lions. Lions head coach Jim Schwartz was previously a defensive coordinator, and you can see he still has that defensive guy demeanor. And he doesn't mind being confrontational, as 49ers head coach Jim Harbaugh found out after their game last year. Still, there are other reasons to appreciate Schwartz's toughness. He has a team built around getting after the quarterback and making big plays in the passing game. But none of the guys are handed their jobs just based on draft status. Nick Fairley and Titus Young are two players drafted in recent years that can really help the Lions on defense and offense, respectively, but they have both had to earn their playing time instead of it being gifted to them. 9. John Fox, Denver Broncos. When Broncos head coach John Fox was fined a few weeks ago by the NFL for verbally abusing the replacement refs, I don't think many people were surprised. Fox doesn't hold back his emotions during the game, and the replacement refs made it about impossible to stay silent. Fox is another head coach whose teams are always hard-nosed and relentless, a reflection of Fox himself. He definitely coaches them to try to establish dominance on both sides of the ball and be the hammer rather than the nail. I have never heard anyone describe a Fox coach team as soft, and I doubt I ever will. 8. Rex Ryan, New York Jets. I know the Jets head coach Rex Ryan rubs some people the wrong way with his bravado, but I love it. I have only one rule about trash talking. If you engage in it during the good times, you have to engage in it all the time. And Ryan definitely does that. Far from being all talk, Ryan actually has been very demanding as a coach. And aside from last season, he has had great success with the Jets. He has built their defense in his image, and the team as a whole reflects his old-school, tough guy attitude. He backs his players to the media, but he rides them hard behind closed doors. He sets expectation levels high, and he pushes the team to achieve them. 7. Lovie Smith, Chicago Bears. He reminds me a lot of my old coach, Tony Dungy, in that neither of them have a lot of tirades on the sideline. The key is that when they do blow up, you know it had to be for something really egregious. It's like having fireworks go off in the library. It immediately gets your attention. Smith is also tough because he is never content, even when his team is playing well. His defense has already scored 5 touchdowns this year, but he still isn't satisfied with their performance. Mind you, 5 touchdowns is almost as much as some teams' offenses have scored all season so far. 6. Jeff Fisher, St. Louis Rams. New Rams head coach Jeff Fisher has already had an impact in turning around the team's attitude. You can see that they are playing with a chip on their shoulder, and that's not how they were playing last year. That is Fisher's style from his days as the longtime Titans coach, to not only get his team playing hard, but to instill an attitude that you can physically dominate your opponent. It can lead to some players crossing the line, but Fisher likes to win games more than make friends anyway. 5. Jim Harbaugh, San Francisco 49ers. Even though 49ers head coach Jim Harbaugh is a former NFL quarterback, he comes across as a guy that thinks more like a linebacker. He wants his team to be physical in every phase of the game, and he doesn't let off the gas until the final seconds tick off the clock. In fairness, the defense already had a physical edge to it before Harbaugh ever took the job. He has remade the offense into a mirror image of the defense, however, and now his whole team specializes in dishing out pain for 60 minutes. 4. Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin, who famously vowed to unleash hell at the end of the season a couple years ago, generally does not mince his words. He is an in-your-face coach that expects and demands the best out of his players every single week. I still haven't forgotten that back in 2008, Tomlin put one of his best players, Casey Hampton, on the PUP list simply because he thought Hampton was overweight. Mind you, this was after Hampton was already a Pro Bowl player. But Tomlin has his own way of doing things, and he wasn't about to compromise that for anyone, even a player like Hampton, for whom other guys on the team surely had a lot of respect. 3. Mike Shanahan, Washington Redskins. Redskins head coach Mike Shanahan has had a rocky start to his tenure in Washington so far, but you can see this year that his team is slowly looking more like those Broncos teams in Denver. He is another coach that prides himself on his team running the ball and his defense being physical and flying around the field. Now that he has rookie quarterback Robert Griffin IE, I would expect Shanahan to have much more success in the coming years. That doesn't mean he will go away from the running game. Instead, he will be able to use it even more effectively to set up the pass. 2. Tom Coughlin, New York Giants. Giants head coach Tom Coughlin is a no-nonsense kind of guy, and he is famous for demanding punctuality in addition to accountability from his teams. I don't think you will ever hear the words "players coach" and Coughlin's name in the same sentence, but while he is hard, he also seems to be fair. After 2 Super Bowl wins in the last 5 years, he has softened his edges along the way. But don't be fooled, Coughlin is still old school at his core. 1. Bill Belichick, New England Patriots. Patriots head coach Bill Belichick has kind of set the modern standard for head coaches. Winning 3 Super Bowls can do that for you. While some head coaches are seen as tough because they are so emotional, Belichick is tough for the opposite reason. He is so cold and calculating that you get the impression that he will do whatever it takes to get a win. It also means that any player who isn't helping him in that pursuit, no matter what their past accomplishments, can quickly be seen as expendable. When you have a head coach that focused on winning, it lets the players know that they have to raise their standards to meet his. If not, they'll be shown the door. All the yelling and screaming in the world doesn't come close to inspiring the same kind of fear that the prospect of losing your job does. What do you think of my video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching my video.